All right, guys, I'm here with a bit of information for Dragon Ball Legends. So, as of this recording, it is 3:14 a.m. and we got a cryptic message. Now, we do know that when it comes down to part 2 of the Dragon Ball Legends 8th anniversary, the hint that they gave us yesterday during the Chance Time event was original, right? And I do gotta clarify something. I know that anime original is a thing in the game, but there was no universe where we're getting anime original because the main anime original characters is like, Bardock and like Frieza from like, the Bardock special and that type of thing. Like, that's not what we're getting because we literally already have Legend Bardock. So when it comes down to original, the only thing that makes sense is game originals, right? But again, it could be anything though, could be anything. Either way. So the hint that we have is original. And now, what you guys are seeing on the screen right now anyway, is this image right here. And it's an image of a blue and orange rectangle and a white, black, and gray rectangle. Now, this is, it could either be very straightforward or it could be really, really vague all at the same time, because I have thoughts on who they could be. And if it's not them, I just don't know what. So with the left rectangle, I personally believe that has to be ZAHHA. The reason, well, specifically second form ZAHHA. And the reason is because ZAHHA has blue skin and he's wearing orange pants in that form, right? So I would think that would kind of go like, I guess, together with the whole aspect of it being original as well, because ZAHHA is part of tag game originals, right? But on the right, and especially if we're getting ZAHHA, then I could only assume that would be the fusion Shallet, right? Because Shallet has white skin, but he also has a black vest and gray pants. Now, I know that the colors aren't like exactly 1-to-1 with their actual like color scheme like in the game, but it is relatively close enough to the point where we can make that inference, right? Because again, like that blue is darker than the shade of blue that ZAHHA is. And obviously Shallet isn't like strictly pure white, right? But it doesn't change the fact that it does go with their color scheme in the game. It's just not exactly 1-to-1, right? Because when it comes down to all of this, if we were to like throw in like the overall realm of like Dragon Ball, right? If I see like blue and orange, I would think Goku, right? But the Goku that has like that type of blue for his hair is from the Broly movie, right? No other version of Super Saiyan Blue Goku has that deep of a blue hair color. Same for Vegeta as well, right? And of course, Super Saiyan Blue, like, Gogeta, his hair color was always that color. There's no other rendition of him like that. And that's like excluding heroes and stuff. So again, it's not exactly 1-to-1 with the characters, because again, with Goku, the only time his color or his hair color was that deep of a blue was during the Broly movie. Everything else, it's a very like light, like tealish blue color. So it's not 1-to-1. So we can make the inference, okay, it's just referencing characters. It's not exactly accurate to their full-fledged colors. So with that, I can deduce that it's more than likely gonna be second form ZAHHA on the left and Shallet on the right. Now, there is another reason as to why I believe that this probably is going to be them. And I've already talked about this in my last video, but I want to bring this up now. It's the fact that ZAHHA already had an ultimate attack. Or no, sorry. They gave ZAHHA a brand new ultimate attack. He never had that before. They didn't have to give him that at all, but they decided to give him one anyway. I could only assume that if they're going to be updating the character, it makes sense for him to finally become playable, especially because second form ZAHHA has been around for, a little while now. Shallet, on the other hand, has been around for a long while now. So it makes sense for us to finally get them as playable characters. And the cherry on top of it all is, with the color schemes of what we're seeing on the screen right now and like whatnot, it's just, it all ties together with the hint that we got yesterday with it being original, and the fact that even before all that, game originals got 2 buffs. Shallet got buffed, Shallet with the regular individual character, but he got buffed, and also Tag, Goku, and Bardock got buffed as well. So everything seems to just be coming together, or at least in my mind, like that's how it seems like. It just makes sense for it to be ZAHHA and Shalllet. Now, personally speaking, I've been waiting a very long time for these characters. But like I said in the last video, I understand if people are going to be kind of shaky about all of this because of the fact that they are story mode characters, right? So summoning for them might rub people the wrong way. I understand that. However, I will say that if they are going to make a summon for these two units that have been in the game, we haven't used second form ZAHHA, but that have been in the game, we've used them in the story, and if not used them in the story, we fought against them in the story. If they're going to make these characters appealing, they have got to be unfathomably powerful. Like, they've got to be absurdly powerful, because if you're going to justify people spending crystals on characters that are part of the story mode, you gotta make it worthwhile. That's the thing. So again, I'm hoping that when it comes down to the release of these two characters, they really do stand out. And also, I think it'll be pretty cool to have them as a standalone character, because I'm speaking about Shallett the Fusion specifically, because a lot of people were wondering if Shallett would just get updated, and if he did get updated, if they would like pair him up with Giblet so that way they could fuse into Shallett. But honestly, having him as a separate character might work out better, because of the fact that no matter what tags they're on apart from Fusion Warrior, they're gonna work perfectly together, right? They're Saiyans, they're God Key by default. Oh, and they're game originals as well. So like he will work on any tag that Shallett is on apart from Fusion Warrior. That is literally it. And then with ZAHHA, he'll work with Shallett on game originals, but then that's really it too, because the other thing would be, of course, powerful opponent. But it's also gonna be interesting to see that game originals tag get like a solid team. You know, like it sounds so weird, because you know, you wouldn't expect that, right? Game Originals hasn't had an actual team that you could use, and I don't even know how many years at this point. But maybe we're finally at the point where we're gonna see teams like, you know, maybe you have Shallett in the leader slot, and well, Shallett the individual, and then ZAHHA, and then Shallett the Fusion, right? All on the same team, and maybe they'll work well because Shallett is a light type. Who knows what element factor ZAHHA or Shallett the Fusion will be? Like, who knows? Like, there's so much that we could speculate about this. It's insane, because we're kind of stepping into uncharted territory to an extent, because remember, we only ever had one summonable game originals unit, which is Tag, Goku, and Bardock. So I don't know, like I wish that there was more that I could speculate about this, but that's really all I've got. Like, we're gonna have to wait until the 16th to be able to actually find out who the characters are. But me personally, I have like my mindset on both ZAHHA and Shallett the Fusion. I think that would actually be really, really cool. I will say though that I've seen a lot of people say Gohan Black, which, look, I'm letting you know right now, if any of these options are Gohan Black, the amount of debt that I will get into will be insurmountable. Okay, I promise you, I'm owing every like banking or financial institution money at that point. Okay, like I will 14 star that unit somehow, some way. But remember that it's game originals, or even originals in general. If we add the aspect of game originals and anime original, Gohan Black unfortunately doesn't fit any of that criteria. We know this because we already have characters in Legends that have crossed over from other Dragon Ball games, like Android 21, Kakarot Goku, and the Xenoverse characters, right? Not a single one of them fall under any of those categories. Not one. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible for Gohan Black to cross over, because Shallett is in Sparking Zero, so maybe one day. And heck, if I'm wrong about this, I will be the happiest person in the world, because I would love to summon for Gohan Black. But I don't think that in this particular case, it's going to be him, because if it is original, he does not fall under that criteria. And we know that already from other characters that have crossed over into Legends from different Dragon Ball games. None of them have any original tag on them, apart from the game that they're on, right? So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but those are just my thoughts. But I do want to know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm Ndukauba. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.